What is up, my friend Achews? This is Jeff Achew, and this is a little bit of a bonus video. I am sick. It's late at night, so I can't really talk too loud, and I am high on Dayquil cough medicine. So this is really just an excuse for me to try out some settings on my microphone, so this is not going to be a full episode. This is only going to be like a 10-minute experiment. I'm going to do a little bit of, what am I doing? A little bit of training to see if I can, a little bit of level grinding. So I just wanted to see how well my mic picks up my voice while I am talking very quietly. I used the capture audio to set my microphone to high, so I assume it's picking up everything I'm saying right now. I really don't know how loud I sound. I have the thing in my excuse me. I have the headphones in my earbuds. My earbud. I have the headphones in my ears. There we go. And I'm just trying to, experiment for when, I have to be more quiet. Like, I don't know how loud I sound right now, but I'm actually being very quiet. I'm almost practically whispering with how I have my thing set up, because I want to know what the real limits of my ability to do this are. So this is just a quick little experiment. It's just going to be a little bit of level grinding before we go fight Jafar. Little 10-minute bonus video I'll probably put up on a different point. Excuse me. Like I said, I'm sick right now. The last episode I recorded, I was talking about how, or maybe it was the episode before, I don't really remember, but I was talking about how I do, how I have a 3-day weekend. I just happened to get the 3-day weekend thanks to Labor Day. No Yellow Trinity yet, okay. And, that I've totally forgotten what I was trying to say. I have Labor Day off, and Labor Day is tomorrow. So, I have random times where I can record, but, I remember what I was trying to say. I'm sick, yeah. So, but I was recording during the day that day, and so I was lucky enough to be able to get a little bit of, extra time going. So, this is really just a test of my microphone to see if it can pick me up when I'm whispering. If I set the thing louder, the capture card software louder, and then to see if I get the audio disruptions. Probably not going to do this all the time, but if it is a way for me to be able to record on a day I don't think I normally can, or at night when I have some spare time, it's something to consider. So I'm just giving this a shot, and we'll see how well this works. So I guess just to make this a little bit more interesting, I'll tell you guys a story. So today's Sunday, it's the day before Labor Day, so happy Labor Day to all of you, even though by the time this episode comes out, you guys will have already been through Labor Day. I was at a Pokemon League for the TCG today, and I've known this for a long time, because I played Yu-Gi-Oh! For years, and I know that there are people that are just tryhards, and that they are going to do whatever they can to win, and they'll cheat if they want, and they'll take advantage of people they don't think know any better, or they think don't know the rules. But I was at Pokemon League today, and I was playing against this guy. I was playing Gardevoir, and I've switched my deck from Ninetales to Gardevoir since last we talked, And so we were playing, and it was a League Cup, which is just, like a little mini tournament that, you can get points for, and we had a prize and all that. That's not really the point. I didn't expect to win today. I didn't have all of the cards I needed to complete my deck. I didn't actually end up getting them until after the tournament, but I did get them, so that made me happy. So I was just kind of like, playing around, playing for fun. I had missed the past 2 days because my job had been kind of busy. It had kept me pretty busy the 2 weekends before, and then the weekend after was the World's Championship. And I didn't go to that, and I assumed nobody else would be there. I assumed they'd either be at Worlds or, there just wouldn't be a point of showing up, and I was right, League was actually canceled. So I didn't go last Sunday. But anyway, so I hadn't been, and I just wanted to play, continue trying out the Gardevoir deck, and this guy I play with in the 3rd round, he's playing Ultra Necrozma and Malamar, and that's really, you don't really need to know too much about that. Basically what you need to know is he was being kind of shady about the whole thing. So he used an Acrobike near the beginning of the duel, or the game, and Acrobike's effect isn't really all that important, but what is important, and what I think any of you will be able to understand and recognize, is that he took the card after he had played it, and it was supposed to go into the discard pile, and he put it back into his hand. So I caught this, and I'm like, hey dude, you have to put that back in your deck, or back in the discard pile. And he's like, oh right, sorry, and I've made that kind of accident before where, oh shit, boulder. I've made that kind of accident before where you're just not paying attention, and you think you know what you're doing, and you take the wrong card. You put it in your hand instead of into your discard pile. It happens to the best of us. I really wasn't upset by it or anything, but accidents happen. So he does that, and then what else did he do? He did something else that was kind of weird. Like, he almost tried to attach another energy a turn, but he asked first. He's like, hey, did I do this already? And I'm like, yeah, you did. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. And I don't know if that was like a false thing to try to get me to think that I could trust him, or if he was legitimately asking because he couldn't remember. But so he did that, and then I really don't remember the 3rd thing. I'm pretty sure there was a 3rd thing. And it was weird because it was something else I felt I had to call him out on. And it just kind of was strange, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, this guy's clearly, I think he's trying to pull a fast one on me. He thinks I'm an idiot, or I'm inexperienced because I'm new, whatever he might have thought. So he's playing, and he does that. I'm gonna die here. Okay, good. And so he does that, and so then we get to the big play. So basically, Gardevoir has 230 HP, right? And his Ultra Necrozma had an attack where if you discard all of the energy on it, it does 60 more damage for each energy, so it could go up to 180. He had a card called Choice Band attached, which when Choice Band is attached, it allows him to do an extra 30 damage to an EX or a GX Pokemon, and which my Gardevoir was. So now he's up to 210, and the base attack of this attack he's trying to do is 10 damage. So now he's at 220, right? So he draws his card, does his thing where he gets his energies back on that he had discarded previously, which was part of his deck, it was part of his ability, and he goes 240 for game, and I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, 240. And I'm like, no, it's, you only have 220 here. And he's like, well, 2 energies is 120, and then the choice band and the other energy, so 240. And I'm like, no, each energy is worth 60 damage. And so I'm like, that's 120, yes, you have that much correct. And I'm like, but then the other amount of damage, 20 plus 2 plus 6 is 8. So I'm like, you have 180. And I'm like, plus 30, that's another, that's 8 plus 3, that's 11. And I'm like, and then you have your base 10. And I'm like, that's 220. Gardevoir has 230. And he's all like, and he kept trying to fight me on it. And so I had to, spell it out for him again. And so finally what he does is, he decides to use his GX attack. And his GX attack was something completely different. Now, in Pokemon, and the only way that this is my mistake is that I should have said at the very beginning, I should have said, are you attacking? Because I knew he thought he had enough before he even did the attack, and I knew he didn't. So my mistake was at the very beginning not going, hey, are you attacking? That was my mistake. And so he goes ahead and he's doing the 240, and then he declares his GX attack. Now, in Pokemon, the way it works is once you've attacked, unless you don't have the energies. If you don't have the energies to attack, then you are allowed to declare a proper attack. But if you have the energies to attack, and you choose to want to do a different attack, you're supposed to ask your opponent if you can take back the move. And if your opponent says no, then tough shit. Well, he used his GX attack again. I knew he couldn't, but it was just at that point where there was so many shady stuff. I didn't go to the tournament that day with the hopes of winning. I went there to just, experiment with my deck some more. So his GX attack ended up allowing him to do 100 damage to all of my GXs and EXs, and within the next 2 turns he was able to, because he had 100 damage spread around to all my guys, he was able to do enough damage following, and so he ended up winning the game. Whereas if he hadn't, he would have only done the 210 to my or the 220 to my Gardevoir. And I had a card that would have brought Gardevoir back to my hand. I had another Gardevoir ready to go already. I could have easily done enough damage to his guy. He wouldn't have had enough energy unless he put on another energy to mess up my Gardevoir, which I know he didn't have enough of. And because he would have attached it, on the following turn and just showed me, like, hey, I had it. But clearly he didn't do that. He had to actually go an entirely different route, using a card that swapped out my Zoroark, and used one of his cards, Marshadow, which is a fighting type. And my Zoroark was weak to Marshadow, and he had to use Marshadow and the card that switched in my Zoroark to actually get the damage. So I know he didn't have it. He did it. It was just very, very shady. And it was just one of those cases where, like, I just didn't care enough. Like, clearly him winning that game was so important to him. That, because he had played shady other ways, and now he was trying to be a jerk. So, like, I asked the judge afterwards, and I already knew the answer, but I'm like, hey, I'm like, if he had said 240, now granted he didn't call out an attack name, but if he had said 240 and he could complete his attack, he just miscounted and didn't have enough to knock me out, would he have been able to switch attacks like that? And the guy was like, no, he wouldn't have been able to do it. And I know the guy knew that he wasn't supposed to do it, because immediately after the match, I saw him go over to his buddies and just the look on his face. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm reading it wrong, maybe I'm seeing what I wanted to see, but the look on his face told me that that he was there going to his buddies being like, oh yeah, you know, I almost lost, but the kid didn't know his rules, and he didn't know that I had to commit to the attack, you know. I could just tell he had that shit-eating grin on his face, like, ha ha ha, I pulled something past this guy. And I'm just like, you know what, if that's really what you need in order to feel good about yourself, you know, to cheat at a card game on the very first day, the very first weekend after Worlds, if your points mean that much to you, then you know what, go ahead and have them. You know, I'm probably not going to go to Worlds this year, you know, I've got a whole lot of responsibility with my new job. Like, it's not worth it to me to fight with someone like that over this. So I wanted to get it off my chest, because it does kind of bother me, because that's not part of the spirit of the game. But I don't know, I just wanted to be able to talk to you guys about that while testing my mic at this setting. So yeah, this was a bit closer to like an actual episode, so maybe, who knows, I just got an actual episode out of it. It's a little bit shorter than normal, but hey, you guys got to see me do a little bit of grinding. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I've been kind of listening in to the thing now and then, so maybe it's worth it, or maybe it worked, I don't know. But if it does work, then this was a successful experiment. So anyways, again, as always, the three of you that watch, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you do something nice for yourselves today. Bye bye.